Hello guys, our just before the expansion hit series continues, and now we are delving into a little bit more complicated mechanics. After going over some basics, we will be going over Fortify, Overpower, and Lucky Hit. These are actually some of the mechanics that have given me pause when I was playing the game. I actually got an waypoint here. Okay, I need to find some enemies so I can show you Fortify. I think it's one of the stuff that needs to be shown. That's it. So you can see some HP bar on top of my HP bar. What's this? Where are the enemies? It's rising up a little, but excuse me, because I want to show you the thing. No. As you can see, it's piling up, and now there will be a visual effect. Just hold up a sec. See? Now we are, this is called Fortify. Right? Gaining Fortify and being fortified are separate things. You can read this speed. I am fortified now, and soon I will be not fortified. So you have to see this visual effect, right? That means you are fortified. And now I'm not fortified anymore. So how does this work? Guys, there are certain effects and abilities that give you Fortify, and when you gain Fortify, this secondary HP bar will start stacking on you, and sadly, for most purposes, it doesn't do anything until you become fortified and you get that visual effect added. And when you get fortified, you get 15% damage reduction. Right? And there are ways to increase that damage reduction provided by Fortify, and there are also ways to increase your damage when you become fortified. So do I have it? See? Perfect, I found it immediately. The Glyph Undaunted, right, gives me, so guys, when I get fortified, I get the Fortify bonus of 15% damage reduction, but I also get 42% damage up, and I get another 10% damage reduction, right? So you can get additional synergies, and the way to stack it is, you know, different. So for example, I do it with my Shout, I do it by spending Fury, I do it by gaining Berserking, right? It differs, right, from class to class, right? And not all classes have access to this. So when it's not full, as you can see, so when you're out of combat, it slowly degenerates, right? And when the enemies hit you, you will be losing both your Fortify and your life. And the definition to become fortified is actually, you do not need to fill this whole thing up. Your Fortify needs to be higher than your current life. So guys, you know, I'm on full HP, and I fortify all the way up to full HP. That will mean I'm fortified. But let's say, guys, I built my Fortify up to 80%, right? And I have received several hits which brought my HP to 70%, but my Fortify was also brought to 70%. That means I'm fortified, right? It's a little bit complicated, and it is not very well explained in the game. That's what Fortified means. And Overpower is a mechanic that is built on Fortify, so I had to explain that first. Overpower means, guys, when you overpower an enemy, you deal bonus damage as stated here, and the overpower chance is only 3%, right? So it's not something that you can rely upon, and you cannot improve it, right? It will not appear on your gear. So we can have crit rate, right? We can have increased attack speed, we have crit damage, right? But we cannot have overpower chance. But there are some abilities that will make your abilities overpower, right? So for example, you hit 5 enemies with the Hammer of Ancients, and the 6th, and you know, I'm making this up, there is no such ability, and the 6th one will guarantee the overpower, right? There are stuff, right? It is a nice source of added damage. And why did I have to explain this after Fortify? Because your Fortify gets added up, right? As you can see, extra damage granted to skills when they overpower, further increase at the moment of impact based on your maximum life and Fortify amount. So your Fortify is being treated as if you had that much life. So for example, guys, I am around 62k HP now, and let's say I have this much Fortify. So this means the overpower will be damaging as if I had 125k HP. That's what it means. And damage over time and channel skills and passive abilities cannot overpower. There's that. So for example, Incinerate cannot overpower, right? Your damage over time inflicted from your Andariel's Visage, whatever it is, it cannot overpower. So normally, guys, this is a mechanic that adds you some damage, right? But wanted to go over it. And next up we have probably the most confusing but actually not that bad effect, right? Called Lucky Hit, and every single skill has their own lucky hit chance. So guys, what that does is, on its own, it does nothing, right? Lucky hit chance 23%. What happens 23% of time? Nothing happens 23% of time, right? There are several, you could have lucky hit effects, and this will determine, couldn't find the word, this will determine the chance of those lucky hit effects happening, right? And every skill has their own. So for example, Kick's lucky hit chance is 46%, and these do not hit, so they should not have lucky hit chances. The hitting abilities have different lucky hit chance, right? And if you have a lucky hit effect, it will work accordingly. So let's take a look here. Do I have, I might not have any lucky hits here. No. Okay, this is the wrong character to take a look at the lucky hit effects. I mean, I probably have some from my Paragon, or maybe, let me find it actually. I just recalled. Keyword search. Oh. I just saw it. Okay. Lucky hit, guys. Let's take a look. No, don't click. Okay. So guys, there is this passive, Concussion. It says skills using bludgeoning weapons, and my offhand is a mace, just because of that, right? With Whirlwind, I'll have up to 30% chance of stunning enemies for 2 seconds, or up to 45% when using a two-handed bludgeoning weapon. So let me tell you what that means. With Whirlwind, I have a 23% lucky chance, and I have a 30% chance of stunning. That means I will have approximately a 7% chance of stunning. Why? Because Whirlwind's lucky hit chance is 23%, and the lucky hit I generate out of Concussion is 30%. So it will be happening 30% of the time of the 23% of the time, right? So what you just do is you multiply 23% by 30. That adds up to something like a 7%. So whenever I'm whirlwinding, right, there is a 7% chance that I stun the enemies for 2 seconds. And let's just take a look at the Sorcerer. She has more lucky hit mechanics. And some classes can, rely heavily on lucky hit mechanics. Those classes will be using Fists of Fate. It's the ultimate lucky hit chance item. So in here, there is this, right? It increases my Lightning Spear lucky hit chance. Lightning Spear's lucky hit chance is very low. So this varies from skill to skill, right? Lightning Spear persists for a long time, and does inflict many hits. Therefore, its innate lucky hit chance is low. So I used to play Chain Lightning Sorcerer, and I also did a video on it for you guys. For example, guys, if you use Andariel's Visage, lucky hit is very important for you, because that proc is an extreme amount of damage, as you can see, 132k. So you combine it with Fists of Fate, right? You also have lucky hit freeze. You have another lucky hit freeze. I mean, let me just put it up, that build. So this is that build's gear, right? Let's just put it up. I'm not going to change the build, but so also, can I put Chain Lightning in here? Okay, just to take a look, guys. So Chain Lightning's lucky hit chance is 58%, right? That's pretty mighty. And thing is, guys, so as you can see, it says up to a 34% chance of applying a random crowd control skill. So what that means is 58% of the time Chain Lightning will lucky hit, and my chance of crowd controlling is 38%. So that will mean something like 22% of randomly crowd controlling someone. And I will have 58% times 26% of freezing and another 22% of freezing again. So guys, what that means is I will be crowd controlling like crazy because Chain Lightning also inflicts multiple hits per hit. So yeah, that's how lucky it works. So you take the skill's lucky hit chance and you multiply it with whatever lucky hit that you wanna make work, and that's your combined chance of stuff happening. So guys, if you add these two up, right, because they are doing a similar thing, so I have a almost 30% chance of freezing anyone that I hit thanks to these two tempers, right? And we will get to tempers later on. And also I will have like a 22% or so chance to apply a random crowd control skill, right? And I will also have this one that's going to be triggered like 12% of the time, right? But imagine I am doing many hits every second, right? Because I'm doing a lot of casts, so that will be proccing quite a lot of the time, right? That kind of makes like 50% of my damage, guys. So that is it for lucky hit, and you can see why it's a little bit intimidating, I suppose, right? I mean, because the skill has the lucky hit, you have some lucky chance on your items, and what's going on, right? It does get a tad bit confusing. Yeah, I think I fixed the gear. So that's it about lucky hit. Yeah, I think this is sufficient for one video. It was a little bit long. As I said, the mechanics are a little bit complicated and they are not very properly explained in the game. So yeah, that's it, and I will see you in the next video.